What's going on YouTube? This is Eric here, guys, with the TRD squad, bringing you guys a Unchained deck profile. This has always been one of my favorite decks to play with. The deck used to be super expensive, or some of the cards were expensive at least, right? Then we got the reprints in the 2020 Megatins, making this deck super cheap. Honestly, I think the entire deck core was like less than 10 bucks. I did have some of the cards beforehand, but some of them I did have to wait for those reprints. Abomination's Prison was one of those, right? That card was just super expensive before the reprints. Unchained Abomination, cool. Another card from your extra deck was pricey because of Dragon Links for a while. Then it kind of came down in price, and now with the reprints, I think you can get like the lower rarity for like a dollar or something. And I think you get the max rarity for just like $2. And it kind of goes like that for all the cards. Like max rarity for all the cards is like literally like $3 or less. So if you're just like on a $10 budget, you can buy this deck. If you're on a $20 budget deck or $30, $30 budget, guys, you can easily get max rarity in this deck. A lot of the honestly, this entire deck is extremely budget for a lot of my viewers, and because I'm also a budget player myself, or a rogue player myself. Now, for a rogue slash budget deck, this deck is honestly really good. A lot of YouTubers have recently started playing this deck. It's gained somewhat of a little bit of popularity. For a lot of us Unchained players, we're also waiting for that support to come out because we only have three twins, and it's kind of weird right there, right? But honestly, this deck is super fun to play with, guys. If you don't know what it does, you can special summon out. You can use your opponent's monsters, guys, to special summon out link monsters from your extra deck. When your cards are popped on the field, a lot of your monsters have the ability to bring out monsters from your deck. When your spells and traps are set on the field and they're popped by card effects, guys, you can bring out monsters from your deck. So what this deck has is a lot of recursion, and it grinds really, really, really good. It can easily beat Eldritch. And honestly, Eldritch has a hard time beating this deck itself. One of the major weaknesses that I found to this deck is just simply playing other rogue decks out there. But against the meta, this deck has just done really, really good. We play a control style variant here. We want to go first. I don't like to go second in this meta because we have VFD out there. We have Drytron out there that plays Vanity's Ruler. And, once you have cards like that, guys, a lot of decks just can't play against that unless you main like Dark Ruler no more or Evenly Matched. Which, yeah, at that point, you kind of lose your battle phase. So I don't really like to go second at all in this meta. I like to go first. Set up a really good board. See if I can just completely, stop my opponent from making combos or setting up his board. And then just come back and try to usually beat them in my second turn. This deck right here has the ability to OTK really, really fast. I'm going to showcase you guys in another combo video. But for today, guys, I'm just going to showcase you guys a profile. Explain to you why we run some of the cards that we run. But that's basically it, guys. Let's get into this deck profile. Start things off, guys. We're running two copies of the Unchained Twins Rocket here. I'm sorry, three copies of the Unchained Twins Rocket here. This card is just really good. He has a really cool quick effect, guys, where you can just pop one card on the field. And then we're playing three copies of his twin, Aruha here. Aruha has the ability, guys, to pop one card on the field to bring himself out from the hand. So he is a really cool special summon. If you pop one of your set spells or traps, you're going to trigger off that effect, guys, to bring out one Unchained card from your deck as well. So that's what makes it really cool. And that's the reason why a lot of these cards have those abilities to pop cards on the field. Three copies of Sarama. A lot of people run this card as a two of, and I think that's kind of bad, guys, because in the late game when you're trying to outgrind your opponent or out-resource your opponent, you want to have Sarama still. You want to have another copy of Sarama in your deck, guys, so you can bring him out. Honestly, once again, the more of these Unchained cards that you play, guys, you're gonna have that potential to OTK or just to outgrind your opponent. For our bigger Unchained cards, two copies of Soul right here. This card's just super good. If he's in your hand, he's not a dead card because if you pop one card on the field, he can bring himself out from the hand. You can also search him from the deck, guys, when any one of these little ones are popped by, if they're destroyed by battle by card effect, guys, they can search out one of your Unchained cards and bring it out to the field. So they're really good. Also, once this card is special summoned to your side of the field, you can simply discard one card to pop one card on the field, and that's non-targeting. Two copies of the Unchained Dog right here, or Unchained Soul of Disaster. Now, I'm playing two copies because, once again, this is my budget version of the deck. We are playing Pot of Desires, so I don't want to banish out both copies because even though he's not a really, he's a really good card that can steal one of your opponent's monsters. Also, he has the ability to recur cards from your graveyard, but he's not a card that you want to see in your opening hand because he's a really big brick. Once he's in your hand, guys, he's really super hard to bring out unless you somehow send him to the graveyard or something like that. But we're playing two copies due to the fact that I do play Pot of Desires, but if you have access to Pot of Extravagance and you want to play Pot of Extravagance, just simply drop this one, drop the one copy here and just add any card you want. I'm not playing Called by the Grave because it's just a one, it's just one copy for now, so I didn't really feel like playing it. But if you have access to like Pot of Extravagance, guys, drop the dog and add Called by the Grave. It's just that easy. For our hand traps, guys, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 DD Crow. If I have access to Bell, I haven't bought Bell just yet, and the card is still really cheap. I just haven't, I just haven't bought it honestly. But I would rather play Bell than DD Crow. It's up to you guys. DD Crow is also still really good. Hits a lot of decks as well in this meta. Ash Blossom has always been a good hand trap. Hits lots of decks as well. But those are our 6 hand traps, guys, and this is basically it for our monster lineup. Now we're gonna go into our spells and traps. 3 copies of Abomination's Prison. It's your searcher for the deck. It's also the only Unchained card that doesn't have Unchained in its name. Kind of sucks about it. And then for our other, our last spell card, or our last 3 copies of spell cards, guys. 3 Pot of Desires. We basically play 2 or 3 of everything, so we banished a couple of copies. That's okay. We just simply just want to get that +2. And if you, once again, if you have access to Pot of Extravagance, go ahead and play that and just change up your extra deck a bit as well. For our traps, guys, we're playing a very trap heavy deck. 3 Abominable Chamber of the Unchained, which is basically your Monster Reborn. 3 Escape of the Unchained, guys. It's a really good removal card. 2 Torrential Tributes, because when we pop the field, it's actually to our benefit. 2 Compulsive Evacuation Device, guys, because I can't afford the Ice Dragon, was it Ice Dragon Prison or something like that? I mean, I can't afford that card, guys. Compulsive Evacuation Device. Not that good, but honestly, still a good card, guys. Because whenever you put cards back into your opponent's hand, it prevents those graveyard effects, and also it's also very frustrating, guys. They normal 7, put that card back into hand. I honestly found this card to be really good when you're playing like the Tri Brigade cards, because whenever they summon out one of their Tri Brigade monsters that can banish out cards from your graveyard, just shove that card right back into the hand, guys. And it's really hard for them to bring it out again. 2 Trap Trick, guys, so we can search out any one of these traps right here, and then 3 copies of Crackdown. Honestly, I love Crackdown. It's a really good card. I think it's underrated. It's honestly, I mean, when you snatch up your opponent's monsters, it's very funny. And that's one of like our that's the way we play like our the deck plays out, right? That's our I forgot what it is, but that's our game of plan or our game plan. It should kind of steal our opponent's monsters. Our main deck, Unchained Abominable, was it the Unchained Abominable Disaster or something like that? Yeah, the Unchained Soul of Disaster, right, can steal one of your opponent's monsters. 2 cards in your extra deck, guys, can steal your opponent's monsters, and then we have Crackdown here. Also, Crackdown is not a hard once per turn; it's a soft once per turn, guys. If you got 2 on the field, or if you open up 2 in your opening hand, that's okay. Just steal your 2 of your opponent's monsters. It's just a really good card. Then Compulsive Activation, once again, right, send those cards back to the hand. TT, get that board wipe. And we play, I mean, honestly, guys, with all these traps right here, guys, going first, it's just really cool. We can easily disrupt our opponent quite a bit, plus the 6 hand traps as well. And of course, the cards with the extra deck, guys, just steal your opponent's monsters as well. So going into the extra deck, your Unchained Soul of Rage here. During your opponent's main phase, and this is a quick effect, but it's only during your opponent's main phase, you can target one of your opponent's monsters and link summon with it. You can usually sometimes go into your Unchained Soul of Anguish here. Unchained Soul of Anguish has the exact same effect, but you can only do it during your turn. So that's what's pretty cool about them as well. 1 Unchained Abomination. It's a really good card, but you don't always go into it. 1 Nightmare Unicorn, guys. If you use Soul of Rage to go into Nightmare Unicorn, that's essentially 2 disruptions just alone right there. You steal one of your opponent's monsters and you shuffle one back into the deck. It's also a Dark and a Fiend monster. For other link cards, guys, we're playing the 3 Topologic cards here. Just because they're really easy to go into, they're also dark monsters, so they're super easy to go into. And then you can always, this deck is really good, guys, at special summoning out monsters during anybody's turn, so you can easily summon out a monster to a zone that it points to. You can get that effect triggered off as well. We're playing a couple of rank 8s here. The one number 23, Lancelot. He's just basically like a negate card there. Negates I think he negates. He's sort of like an Omni negate, or once per turn during either player's turn. When a spell or trap card or another monster's effect is activated, detach 1 material, negate that activation. And of course, we got Dean Gears here, guys. Really good card to out Dragoon. We do play a couple level 8, so we can sometimes make him. Then I'm playing Starring Venom Fusion Dragon. Now, I might just drop this card because I was playing Super Poly, but I just realized in my extra deck I don't have Super Poly anymore. But once again, like, you do have a lot of decks out there trying to make VFD, so you can easily just Super Poly one of your cards and, VFD because it's a dark monster. Summon out this card right here. So he's still, pretty good though. But like I said, I'm not playing Super Poly right now. So I might just drop that card, guys. But this is basically it for my extra deck. The only card I would probably add to my extra deck, guys, if you have access to Access Code Talker, that's a really good card. You can OTK your opponent with that very easily. Unfortunately, guys, once again, that card is super expensive. I don't have it. I'm waiting for a reprint or waiting for that card to go down in price. I don't see it anytime soon, though. But if I did have that card, I would easily play it. If I had access to Heart of Extravagance, what I would do is I would just drop most of these right here. But what I would do is I would run 3 copies of Soul of Rage, or yeah, Soul of Rage, 3 copies of Anguish, 2 copies of Abomination, 2 to 3 copies of Unicorn, just your choice. I would still run the copy of Doom Girsu. I would still run the Topologic package, but I might just go down to like these two. And then you can play like your 2 Access Code Talkers, guys, with anything like that sort, right? You can just a variety of ways to play this deck. Once again, guys, it's sort of a budget deck here. But that's basically it for my main deck and extra deck, guys. I'm gonna show you guys what I play in my side deck here. Playing 3 copies of Nibiru, guys, because there's still a lot of combo decks that are heavy out there. 3 Kaijus, because if you go second, you can Kaiju one of your opponent's monsters, and then you can steal that Kaiju with your Unchained Dog. Normally I don't play this Kaiju. I was just kind of like too lazy to find my Gameciel, whatever its name is, right? You can play that one as well. 2 draw Lockbird, guys, because it stops Drytron in its tracks. The 1 Breaker Tops, because this card's just really good in this deck, guys. You can use it to bait out some of your opponent's negates. If your opponent has VFD, bring out this card to the field. If your opponent tries to activate VFD, and just go ahead and chain his effect to it. Pop that card as well. Three copies of Cosmic Cyclone, guys, for back row removal. 2 copies of Dark Ruler or more in case I got to break a board. Then the 1 copy of Mind Control because I had 14 cards in my extra deck and I didn't know which one to put in there. So I was like, Mind Control goes pretty good with this deck strategy as well. Still in our opponent's monsters. But that's basically it, guys, for the deck right here. I'm not going to showcase to you guys a combo. I am going to do a test hand video later on. But normally, guys, what you would want to see is just like in your opening hand, you can just, you want to at least open up one of your twins here, like Unchained Twin Sarama or Rakia. And then maybe like just any one of your Unchained spells or traps. And so what you could do at this point, guys, is you would just go ahead and you could set this trap if you like. Activate Ruha's effect, guys, from your hand. Target that trap, pop it to bring out a Ruha. The trap cards will affect, guys, the effect of the trap card will trigger in its graveyard line to special summon out one Unchained card from your deck. At this point, you can special summon out your Unchained Twin Sarama. And then you can activate his effect, guys, to set one card or set one Unchained card in your graveyard, set it to your side of the field, and then pop one card in the field. So at this point, you can just go and pop your Ruha. You want to go and summon out your Abominable Unchained Soul. At this point, guys, if you want to go ahead and like standard Nibiru's radar, just go ahead and link summon here with Sarama and your Abominable Unchained Soul. And you would just make your Unchained Soul of Rage. And at this point, guys, we do have 3 negates on board. So during your opponent's turn, guys, when your opponent special summons a monster, you can steal that card with Soul of Rage. You can go into your Nightmare Unicorn, or you could also go into your Unchained Soul of Anguish. It's up to you, but since we do have this trap card here, I would rather just go into Unchained Soul of Anguish there. And so, like, what you also do, guys, to disrupt your opponents, you can activate this trap. You can target one Unchained card you control, and just one other card on the field and pop both of those. Now, if you pop both those cards, guys, this would actually trigger your Unchained Soul of Anguish here. And you can just add any card back to your hand. Now, had we chosen not to play Nibiru and we had normal summon Rakia, you can leave that card there. And what you could do is just go ahead and add your Abominable Unchained Soul here. Now, keep in mind, guys, that we did this combo video like 2 cards. We still had, I think we used 3 cards right for this test hand here. So we still have one more of the card in our hand. Now, if Rakia for some reason is destroyed by battle or by card effect, guys, you would just special summon out your Unchained Soul. This card, the one card that we didn't use, and then pop one card on the field, giving you 3 negates right there. But that's basically the way the deck works, guys. Now, if you didn't have any more cards in your hand, so you would not normal summon your Soul. I mean, you would not add Soul to your grab, but just go ahead and add your Sarama back to your hand. That way you can use them on your next turn because these are really good. These are a really good play starter once you have cards in your graveyard. But that's basically it, guys, for my test video. This deck is somewhat, tricky to get used to because it plays a lot different from any other deck out there, guys. But once you get used to it, it's super fun and it's honestly quite consistent. We have multiple ways of searching our starter cards. We do play the Paw, we do play the Searcher as well. But it's a really cool deck. Hopefully in the future though we do get some more support here because what we normally we have the 2 original twins, Rakia and Ruha there. Now you got Sarama here that has no twin, but he somehow in his name he has Unchained Twins. I don't know if it's triplets now or whatever, guys, but hopefully we get some more support, right? I'd really like to see this deck get more support. But honestly, I think it make it a whole lot better. If it does, the deck I think would can honestly become meta at this point. But this is one of the best rogue decks out there, guys, for its price that can compete with the meta. If you don't have it, guys, pick it up. It's gonna cost you like literally like $10. You got Pot of Extravagance, guys. It makes this deck a whole lot better. Like I said, I play Pot of Desires. I do play this deck online a lot, guys, and it still performs really good even without Pot of Extravagance. It's just that you gotta banish some of your cards as well. But honestly, it's still a really good deck, guys. Super fun to play with. Very frustrating because your opponent tries to clear out your board, you bring out more monsters, you snatch up your opponent's monsters as well in the process. Makes this deck really frustrating to play against, so it makes it fun for you to play against anybody out there. But anyways, guys, this is it for my Unchained video here. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hit that like button down below if you did. Subscribe to my channel, guys, so you can stay in tune with my content. Also, comment down below, guys. Maybe you play your Unchained Twins deck a little bit differently. You want to let me know. Leave it all down below for me as well. But anyways, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.